Okay, folks, it looks like we are ready to rock and roll right here with the Shattered Temple. We're going to be having Hasu versus Cloud as our first game of the day. I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle of the Titans. The two seeded players out of the four head is going to clash here, and this is going to be a fight to kind of determine who's going to be first and second out of their group. Absolutely, folks, and we bring you Hasu in the yellow trunks. He is playing Protoss for Team Mouse Sports right here on the Shattered Temple versus his opponent, the one and only Cloud from Meet Your Makers. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Terran. And the Italian Stallion, the home favorite here. The crowd is intense for Cloud, and we're going to have to see if he can perform in front of his home crowd. Obviously being Italian, and we're going to have to see who these players are speaking about. I don't know. Probably the Italian keyboard, obviously. Well, it's that and the fact that we went out for pizza last night, and Cloud, I'm fairly sure, devoured the majority of a cow, actually. It was quite impressive. Really? Yeah. Cow pizza. It seems Italians can really eat, as we have discovered. Massive, massive pizzas at the pizzeria. Great stuff. I noticed that too. They actually have like 4 courses and their dinner and lunch. It's incredible. I don't know how they manage it, honestly. It's like I'm this little English person who has, the starter comes out and it's a plate of pasta. And by the time I finish it, I'm like, oh, I'm getting full. And then another plate comes and another plate comes. Carbs, carbs, carbs. Yes, I'm sure Adkins would not be happy with you one little bit for doing that. No, not at all. And we do see pretty much standard by Hasu, throwing the gateway down on 12 and then opting to go scout here. And Hasu has been performing quite well recently. And not only that, Cloud has also been performing awesomely recently. Both players qualifying for the EPS finals that will be upcoming in the next few weeks or so. And I'm actually going to tilt this in favor of Cloud, in my opinion, because I just feel, playing in his home country, not having any issues with flying here, and obviously it's just going to be a lot smoother atmosphere for him to play. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bear in mind, Cloud also qualified for the NASL, so his group is looking a little bit intense. We'll see just how well he does. Hasu recently actually did a very, very good series of show match games versus HeyPro from Team Liquid, and he showed that in terms of a long game, and HeyPro's got a. Would you agree with me to say that HeyPro's style is quite macro focused? Oh yeah, definitely macro oriented Zerg player. Well, what it actually proved is that Hasu can easily go toe to toe with HeyPro. Certainly in the first game, a lengthy game, about 35 minutes, and it did turn out in favor of Hasu. It was an excellent game. He is absolutely capable of dealing with the macro Zerg. Yeah, and that's one of the problems that Hasu has been criticized before, is that, he's come from a Warcraft 3 background, and everybody's been saying, as soon as it passes 3 bases, Hasu is nobody. And we are seeing that Cloud is opening up with a Reaper play, most likely going to be transitioning into a fast expansion we do have here. He has taken off SCVs from Gas, so most likely that's the best build he will be going into. And personally, I love this build. I love opening Reaper Fast Expand. You can deny scouting, you can scout your opponent and see what's up, and then you can even, take a few probes. Take a few probes, exactly. It's great. The first time I actually saw this really being used in a major tournament was by Bratok, and he does it all the time. And as it turns out, a lot of the European Terran players are doing this over and over and over again. They'll use it deliberately, as you said before, to cover an expansion. You see the probe patrolling back and forth right there. Cloud could actually get it. It's just out of range. That Zealot might move into sight range. Oh, he's just standing on the edge of it there. That's so unlucky for Cloud. If he'd actually seen that, he could have gone and even killed the Zealot too, obviously kiting that Zealot. And that could have given him a good advantage. And now the Hasu does move in, sees the Bunker Marauder, and notices that, this has to be an expand build, and automatically responding in the correct manner and throws down a Nexus of his own, not wanting to fall behind. And then, this is just basically one gate expo, and then we'll follow up putting down his second gate. Absolutely. I'm actually kind of confused as to why Cloud didn't go out immediately with that Reaper and see what he could see. I mean, he hasn't done any scouting with it at all yet. I guess he probably defense against, a Zealot, or to even throw the timing of the Reaper out. Because your opponent might be thinking, well, you're going to go for a Reaper play, but actually the Reaper does come in and not really getting any scouting information. Well, no, unfortunately not. The thing is, if it comes in at that time, Hasu was well prepared for it. He already saw the Reaper, or at least would have heard the Reaper firing down at that probe. So he's aware, and obviously he saw the expansion. So against a Terran opponent, with the current state of the metagame, it's extremely common to go with that Reaper opening. He had to see it coming. He was prepared for it. That was the logical place for it to go, and he was easily able to intercept it.
See Hasu with 1, 2, and 3 gates coming out at the moment, and just playing a little bit passively right now, getting his forces up, and of course fairly heavy on sentries as a direct result of expanding.
Yeah, he is throwing down his second assimilator now, and also a 4th gateway. So we're going to have to see how he kind of transitions. I suppose that he could be looking for some deadly mid-game push here. And SCV actually scouts the probe transfer and gets taken down by these Zealot sentries. And at the same time, for Cloud, we do have Stim in research. And obviously he'll be wanting to continually add on these barracks and then eventually switch over to getting the factory up and getting that key starport out so we can start healing all these units in the mid-game.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, this will definitely go into the mid-game. There's no real way that Hasu can break that defense right now. Cloud looking very strong already. A lot of Marines coming out for Cloud. Stim on the way as well. Bear in mind that the Stim timing push nowhere near as effective against Protoss now as a result of the 30-second nerf.
Yeah, that might have even just pushed players into just going for fast expands now because it's going to take such a long time for that to come out. And Cloud actually opts to go for an engineering bay before going for a factory here. Going to obviously have turret up on the natural just to be ultra safe against anything, ultraless against
Ultralisks
DTs.
safe.
I know Ultralisks safe.
Ultralisks are not safe. Every time I see Ultralisks, they just get torn apart. I'm sorry. I feel very sorry for them. But it'll be very useful actually for Cloud to get that up as well, since we do have a robotics facility coming almost complete right now by Hasu, and as a result, he'll be throwing out a few observers and missile turrets. May catch Hasu unawares. Might take an observer out.
Yeah, and Cloud is actually playing very efficient now. Building all these barracks, going to add on another barracks. So in total, we have 5 barracks here. Actually, 1 being used to scout, which is very efficient. We'll be sending that across a lot cheaper than using a scan. And it just stays alive for so long. For so long, you can get some really key scouting information. And a probe does come in here to try to see the army composition of Cloud. Doesn't really get too information, but we do have an observer that will confirm pretty much everything for Hasu.
Absolutely. Is that not a wonderful, wonderful thing, being able to build those? I wish I could, but as you were saying before, you're right. Actually sending a barracks over is more efficient than a scan, and some of the newer players might wonder why that actually is. It's simply because if you use a scan, it's energy you could have spent on a mule.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I'm kind of looking at the forge, being like, all right, you're going to +1 armor first, which is kind of interesting. Usually we do see the +1 attack being researched first, but I actually hold that thought because Cloud is moving down here with a large army, but I don't think he feels too comfortable, especially because these sentries, there are a lot of sentries and a lot of force fields possible here.
Absolutely. It kind of makes sense, but there's the Stim right here, and the first major engagement of this particular game. Guardian Shield goes down. Force field splits the force in 2. Bear in mind, Cloud still able to inflict an awful lot of firepower, and actually I think those force fields didn't help at all, simply because Hasu was blocked from getting to those Marines at the back. However, it looks like this one is going to go in favor of Hasu, and wow, that Marine stuck inside the force fields. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, if he loses these 2 Marines, he could be in a lot of trouble. Has to Stim to get back. Needs to be very defensive now. He might have to even pull units off SCVs to repair the bunker. This supply depot is going to go down. Not in any danger of being supply blocked, but he has a lot of resources. Needs to macro hard because Hasu is powering away, adding another 2 gateways, and this is going to be very, very intensive for Cloud to hold on here.
This could be problematic for Cloud, actually. He is losing now another supply depot, and even if it doesn't supply block him, that's still something he will have to rebuild, so that is economic damage done either directly or indirectly. And a nice attack there by Hasu, honestly. It was more efficient, even though we're talking about Marines and Marauders. He was able to take a little bit more in terms of what his opponent had. And that armor upgrade is interesting, actually, considering the fact that it's a very Marine-heavy force, or at least it was, going in from Cloud. It's now actually prioritizing Marauders.
Yeah, and he's going to have to do that because the Stalkers, Sentries, it's just so demolish his army then with the force fields. At the same time, we do have the third base being put down for Hasu, also getting rid of the rocks here. And altogether now, how many gateways do we have? 1, 2, 7 gateways in total, 2 forges pushing out and pumping these upgrades. And especially with the Chrono Boost, you can get them out so fast. +2 armor being researched, and now we do have the +1 attack halfway doing complete.
It's interesting stuff, folks. And honestly, the scientific term for that many gateways is one hell of a lot of gateways. And that's a lot of units that's going to be coming in Cloud's direction. However, Cloud does have the Marine Marauder Medivac combination now available. That Reaper's still alive, so I'm happy about that. It's good that he's been able to chill out and hopefully take a little bit of retirement. fairly rare for Reapers to actually last this long into the game. He continues to use it to scout, and it looks like he might even get information here. He's heading all the way through, and he's going to grab some information about that third base.
And he might be able to get off a lot of kills if he does decide to go up there. And we're going to have to see. It looks like he is going to go up to the top right, but there are no units here for Hasu at all. He might be able to get 2, 3, possibly 4 kills here, even more if Hasu doesn't respond in time.
That's going to be messy. Why is he stopping? Go on, Cloud. Get in there. Get in there. He's not going for the mineral line at all. I'm not entirely sure why. Hasu surely must have seen that. There we go. Finally into the mineral line. Some economic damage now being inflicted. He takes one. Looks for the second. Grabs it fairly easily. Bear in mind that Reaper is quite weak. He's going to have to be very careful in terms of the micromanagement. However, Hasu blinks in a stalker, takes it out almost immediately. Good damage done nonetheless.
And here Cloud has a huge force actually moving down the map. I'm not sure if he has enough though. This is a very, very intensive gateway army. Blink has finished now and he's going to engage.
Oh yeah, this is going to be messy as he goes in right here. It is an absolute massacre on both sides, honestly. Stalkers inflicting heavy casualties. Marauders already
got... the medivac!
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is not good at all. It's a pickup, and he gets shot down in midair, unable to drop all of those units whatsoever. Cloud takes... Oh, that is a huge, horrendous amount of damage. Hasu just absolutely took him apart right there.
Yeah, and he has a lot of reinforcements, Cloud, so he needs to move. But another medivac goes down. But the thing is, oh my god, more medivacs go down. You cannot afford to lose that. Cloud actually picked up a ton of units in the medivacs to lift them over the force field and being a smart player like Hasu sniped. Gone.
Absolutely. Hasu was completely ready for that particular strategy. It was a good idea by Cloud, certainly, but it was really a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
And now we actually see Hasu on the counter-attack. We do have a Robo Bay and Colossus being pumped out, but +2 attack has finished for Cloud, and that's going to help out a lot. The upgrades for Hasu, 2 armor, +1 attack.
Oh, yes. Hasu looking very dominant in terms of the ground battles right here. Playing it cool, playing it calm, and currently heading up to the top of the map. This is a little bit of a problem, perhaps, for Cloud. Bear in mind, Cloud does have a Ghost Academy up, so good seeing some Ghost play. Quick Blink Stalker right through. Nicely done, and straight into the line. And honestly, he might be able to take this out before his opponent's able to respawn. Already Cloud streaming in as quickly as possible, trying to spawn to that right into the mineral line. Not really focusing his fire too much right now on the orbital command center. There you go, quick stim into one, takes 2. It's looking pretty good. Blinks immediately out of there. And of course, the Zealots can't really do anything. The rocks are still there. Not intact by any means, but still up to block his ascent.
And that just, actually, I thought that was a really good engagement for Hasu, but he killed maybe 4 or 5 SCVs, but lost 4 or 5 Stalkers, which isn't really a good exchange.
It's not a good trade.
Especially because of the mules being rained down consistently. We look at the SCV probe count is 68 SCVs versus 65 probes, so very, very close in terms of economy. And the actual supply count now is in favor of Cloud, 174 to 151. And slowly, Cloud is starting to take a bit of an advantage, especially with these upgrades. +3 attack, halfway done now, and that is going to be key in fighting this. The only thing is, we don't really have a big amount of Vikings. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, 6 is okay, considering the count of Colossus isn't that high yet.
Well, it's currently on 3. Personally, I'd say that 6 is a little low. I'd prefer it to be more. But bear in mind, he does have 2 starports, 1 with a reactor on it, pumping him out. He's going to have 3 more easily before he gets another engagement. And this is sort of trademark Cloud right here. He really does go heavy into the upgrades, double engineering bay. He's going to have at least +2 armor ready before any engagement happens, and most likely +3 weapon. He's very, very heavy on the infantry, which is extremely common for his playstyle.
Yeah, and Zealot leg speed is just about to finish. My favorite personal upgrade in this game. I love it. Makes Zealot so effective. Cloud just destroying the rocks so he can expand there while pushing out. And he looks like he's going to wait until +2 armor finishes and +3 attack. And I think that's going to absolutely trash Hasu upgrades 2-2, but this +3 is going to make a world of difference, especially because he actually has a Ghost in the mix too. 1 good EMP will absolutely destroy all these Zealots.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be 1 good EMP as well, folks, because that is only a single, and there we go, and straight into the line. This is a war for the ages right here. 1 Colossi down. However, the remaining Colossi ripping their way through the infantry forces right here. Vikings focus, another one down, another one bites the dust right here, and Hazu's actually being pushed back as the Colossi get annihilated. However, Cloud fairly low in terms of his ground forces. He's got enough though. It's Marauder heavy. A counter charge right here by the Zealots. That is looking messy. Is it going to be enough though? I'm not convinced. Vikings now down on the ground. very equal right now. And Hazuob's actually blinking out of that one. That was a messy, messy encounter.
Extremely close there for Hazuob's. Managed to come in just with another warp of Zealots, managing to hold on. It looks like he might be going for a counterattack. That's not a wise idea to do. And at the same time, Cloud reinforcing 143 food for Cloud versus 116, plus 3 armor now being researched as well as the air upgrade, and he's even going to take the gold now, and that is awesome for Cloud. He does have the factory in here, seeing the double Robo and the Colossus being pumped out, and Dark Shrine now being added for Hazuob's here. Where actually is it? I suppose it would be by the third. Yeah, it is by the third base, hidden away from Cloud. And really, he doesn't have... Actually, he has one turret on the third, not very high up though, but with this amount of orbital commands, we have 1, 2, 3 orbital commands. That's going to be enough scans to take care of these DTs.
Bear in mind as well that, of course, you can decloak using EMP. It's a little bit risky, especially when you only have one, but a player of Cloud's level could certainly do it. It depends what Hazuob's actually wants to do. When I've seen Hazuob's play in the past, he's the kind of person, he doesn't harass with Dark Templar, he actually mixes them in, and he's very effective at sniping off units that can detect. So, for instance, against HeyPro, he ended up using Dark Templar in the mix with his usual unit composition and would immediately use Blink Stalkers to snipe off any Overseers.
Yep, and looking at the composition of Hazuob's is, in that fight, he lost all the sentries, all the energy's gone, and now he only has 5. And the key thing in beating a Terran player is you need a lot of force fields. I mean, everybody knows how efficient force fields are, and Hazuob's just doesn't have it, which means the Marauders and Marines are going to have a nice open area to move around. The forces are not going to be split up, meaning the concave of Cloud, is going to be so strong, especially now plus 3 is almost finished for the armor, and Cloud's army is looking so strong right now.
Absolutely. In terms of army supply count, we're looking at 131. Cloud is now capped out in terms of his supply versus 107 for Hazuob's. Admittedly, another warp in could really do the job. We've actually got Archons coming on the field right now for Hazu, and Archons in the front right here as we immediately go for yet another engagement. One Colossi sniped off already. Now, the force fields are in place down, and the Marauders actually can't inflict as much firepower as they would like. However, Hazuob's is still melting right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was a really good engagement for Cloud. His units are so low in health. The force fields actually held him back. He's actually going to go in again.
Yeah, this is going to end up being messy for both sides, honestly, and that really was not a good idea by Cloud. He just got absolutely decimated. As you said before, the health level was far too low. Now Blink Stalkers in the mix. They take Medivacs for free, and why would you not?
Yeah, and Cloud, he was so far ahead before that battle engaged, but he just engaged in the wrong area, and now is on the back foot. The Italian Stallion could be losing the Viking, a couple of Medivacs, has a few Marauders to fight this off, and I think Hazuob should not be going in here at all.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great little counter-attack right there, and a very efficient one. Snipes off 3, maybe 4 Stalkers. Is looking pretty good. That Colossi is standing up there, no problems at all. We do have a Dark Templar coming in. Oh, wow, that was messy, wasn't it? That was a very unfortunate move there by the Medivac, losing that one for free. There is a Dark Templar somewhere, is hiding around, folks. In the meantime, there you go. He's actually going to use this for a little bit of harassment. Now, there is a missile turret in that mineral line, so he can't do a huge amount, and the SCVs will be able to outrun the Dark Templar for the time being. Yeah,
and very smart play by Cloud. It's going to have to move some forces up there, though, to deal with this DT. And if that turret goes down, obviously going to be stealthed, and now he's going to have to use a scan, unfortunately.
Very quick indeed. There's the stim, there's the scan, and they'll bring the DT down. But as I said before, that is not what he wants, really. Maybe a couple more missile turrets in the line would be a good idea.
Yeah, and the Templar Archives has been placed down now for Hazuob's. As he just fights, or Clouds just fights off the rest of that harassment. The Templar Archives has been put down, and that is going to be extremely key in fighting this army. But there are no sentries at all anymore for Hazuob's. It's going to be very hard to deal with this.
Yep, unit composition is looking a little interesting. It was funny earlier that we noticed Archons coming in. Of course, there's no Templar Archive, but one of the rare things that is done is, yes, you can actually merge 2 Dark Templar into an Archon. It's just not very common.
Yeah, and now we have another expansion put down by Hazuob's. And as we talked before, Hazuob's showing his late game strength, crushing any criticism from players saying that he can't macro well enough, and we are seeing a long game here. Hazuob's being one of the best Protoss players within Europe, and at the same time we have Cloud, also one of the best Terran players, very much on form recently. Though that last engagement told me, it wasn't so good, it wasn't very good engagement at all for Cloud, but his army is getting remaxed up once again. And I'm just so scared because there are not any force fields at all for for Hasu in this situation. He is getting a lot of High Templar now, and that's going to be key in fighting this. But if we do have some good EMPs, we really do need to see them come out from Cloud to engage this army.
Yeah, bear in mind that Cloud is already moving out again, and that's actually good timing considering that the High Templar only just warped in. No Cater and Amulet anymore for you folks. So most of those guys actually don't have the energy to Psystorm yet. 3 Ghosts already moving in, now trying to pick off the High Templar. Nicely done. Snipes 2, Snipes 3. Excellent play there by Cloud. Able to eliminate those High Templar before they're able to do anything.
Oh my, I can't believe that was so smart.
Oh yeah, a very good idea. And now in comes the engagement once again. No Psystorms for you, I'm afraid. And Cloud cutting his way through those Colossi. However, does he have the unit count for this one? His army count rapidly falling right here. He still has the advantage though. Another Colossi eliminated. It looks like a good push, but he's forced backwards only just. Still, however, Dark Templar in the mix doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Cloud does not take that engagement down. He's going to lose these medibacks as well. Got to be super careful. Does reinforce just in time. But oh my, I can't stress how good that was with the Ghost. He cloaked them, went in there, and sniped the High Templar.
Well, that's exactly what they are. They're assassins, and that's what they are used for. Extremely effective. Got another engagement right here. It's not in Cloud's favor again. A Psystorm as he backs away, taking more damage, and it takes down 2 Ghosts with that Storm. Only 1 still on the field. He needs more Ghosts going there. Another Psystorm ripping through those Marauders. Only just keeps the Ghost alive. And a Blinks, and there's another Blink, and the Ghost down, and the Marauder. Wow, Hasu cleans it up.
And we look at the Imcon tab now. I think that Cloud should be actually ahead. I don't know. It's actually quite close, actually.
Very close.
But I mean, this 4th base or 5th base, you know, hasn't really been saturated compared to Cloud. Actually, has it up. Even has another base in production. So on the minimap, it looks like Cloud slightly ahead, though it is a little bit close. DT in the middle of the map. Got to be super careful. Could lose a lot of units. And it looks like Cloud is moving down here, but he lost all the medibacks, and he just can't heal his units. So he has to be super careful with these. If he loses this army and Hasu forces a counterattack, it could be dangerous for Cloud.
Absolutely deadly. Right now into that Nexus. That Nexus should go down if he focuses, but he's not doing that. He's taking down the probes instead. Now focusing on it. And Hasu has got him backed into a corner right now. This is a do or die situation. A warp in at the top. Oh wow, Cloud is not going to be able to survive this. It's not going to happen. Forced all the way back into a corner. A last stand right here. No health remaining. There's the scan. Doesn't matter. It's all down. It's all horribly dead.
Okay, you just basically pushed Hasu all in. You just took his expansion away, and I predict a counterattack. That's the best way to deal with this. He just lost a lot in supply. Does Cloud have enough? He even puts down bunkers to try and defend this. He knows if he can defend against this counterattack, he's going to be so far ahead because he just completely dominated Hasu economy right there.
Absolutely. There was a lot of economic damage done, an awful lot of probes. You can already see it on the visual display right here. The comparison. Cloud is streaming ahead 2,000 minerals a minute. And what's it? Cloud's actually going in, looking to try and bait Hasu perhaps into this corridor right here with those 2 bunkers, which are now complete. There we go. Marauders in the bunkers. A lot of damage coming down. They will be taken out almost immediately, however. Double Storm at the front. Triple Storm. Quad Storm. Nasty stuff. Not what you want to see as a Terran player. Not one little bit. Colossi continue to leave. Oh, feedback right there. Almost brings 1 HP left on those medivacs. Hasu continues to push forward right here. I'm not entirely convinced that Cloud will be able to hold this. He's got 7 more Marauders on the way, but whether they'll actually be out in time, that is questionable. EMP, a lot of damage done, still forced into the back. Blink Stalker right in there, and that natural expansion is going to get dominated.
Oh my god, Cloud, you were so close in winning this game, so close. Look how close this game was. Oh my god, it looks like it's so close. And Hasu just called GG.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. 32-minute game right here on the Shadow Temple. What a way to start this off. That was excellent play by both.
Wow, what a great game to start off this day here in Italy. The UGC, sponsored by Samsung. Oh my god, Cloud, I'm so close.
Oh, you are upset by this, man.
30 seconds later, Cloud would have won.